Starting from today, on every weekday, I will explain Paṭṭhāna in daily life. First of all, I would like to request that you please do not post anything online without permission. The person who is responsible will post the material the next day after each session. Also, please refrain from asking questions during the explanation. If you have any questions, you may ask them in the question and answer session after the explanation. Now, let us begin the lecture by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa
Bhagavato
Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo
Tassa
Bhagavato
Arahato
Samma
Sambuddhassa.
Namo
Tassa
Bhagavato
Bhagavato Arahato
Samma
Samma
Sambuddhassa.
Sambuddhassa.
Paṭṭhāna is a combination of pa and thana. The prefix pa means various and thana means causes or conditions. Therefore, Paṭṭhāna refers to the great teaching that explain the various causes that combine to produce effects. Another way to understand it is as the analysis of conditional relations. Everything arises due to causes. Without causes, effects will not arise. By studying Paṭṭhāna, we come to understand 3 main aspects. Paccaya, the cause. Paccayopanna, the effect. Paccaya sati, the strength of the cause in producing the effect. I'm going to explain mainly to understand and apply how the 24 conditional relation, Paṭṭhāna, working in our daily life. The Buddha explained that Paṭṭhāna reveals how causes are connected to their effects, how they support them, how they cause them to arise, and how they sustain them. All living beings are functioning under the 24 conditions every moment. But we often do not realize it because we are not aware of how they operate. Without the continuous support of these 24 causes, nothing can remain alive or exist. These 24 conditions describe different modes of causation. Each condition is supported by many causes in different ways. Paṭṭhāna is the teaching that clearly explains how these causes and effects work together in various relationships. By studying Paṭṭhāna, we begin to understand ourselves more deeply because even our body and mind arise depending on causes and conditions. When we understand these conditional relations clearly, we understand our own true nature. Once, a group of wealthy young men took a prostitute into the forest to enjoy themselves. After their entertainment, they became tired and fell asleep. While they slept, the prostitute stole their valuables and ran away. Upon waking, they searched throughout the forest to find her. During their search, they encountered the Buddha. After hearing their situation, the Buddha compassionately advised them, searching for others is not truly profitable. Instead, searching for yourself That is what is truly beneficial. Hearing this profound teaching, wisdom arose in their hearts. They listened further to the Dhamma, contemplated deeply, and practiced accordingly. As a result, all of them attained arahantship. They completely succeeded in finding themselves. In the same way, starting today, let us explore the Paṭṭhāna to understand how the 24 conditions are constantly operating in our daily life, and let us apply this understanding to discover our own reality. There are 24 Paṭṭhāna, 24 conditions. They are Hetu-paccaya, root condition, Ārammaṇa-pacccaya, object condition, Adhipati-paccaya, predominant condition, Anandara-pacccaya, proximity condition, Samanandara-pacccaya, immediacy condition or contiguity condition, Sahajata-pacccaya, born together condition or cognizant condition, and Iññā-miññā-pacccaya, mutuality condition, Nisaya-pacccaya, dependent condition, Upannisaya-pacccaya, strong dependent condition, Purejata-pacccaya, pre-nascent condition or born early condition, Paccajata-pacccaya, post-nascent condition or born later condition, Asavana-pacccaya, repetition condition, Kamma-pacccaya, Karma condition, Vipaka-pacccaya, resultant condition, Āhāra-pacccaya, nutriment condition, Indriya-pacccaya, faculty condition, Jhana-pacccaya, absorption condition, Megha-pacccaya, path condition, Sampayutta-pacccaya, association condition, Vipayutta-pacccaya, dissociation condition, Ati-paccaya, present condition, Nati-paccaya, absent condition, Vigata-paccaya, disappearance condition, Avigata-paccaya, non-disappearance condition. Before beginning the Paṭṭhāna course, I would like to respectfully pay homage with the Pali verses offered by the Most Venerable Mahāganda Yonsiyaro in veneration of the profoundly deep and noble Paṭṭhāna treatise. Nāna-pakaraṭhānāni bodhinānittha munina anandanaya Paṭṭhānam Vande Ananda Gocharam. I pay homage to the Paṭṭhāna treatise of infinite and immeasurable scope, in which the Buddha, through his omniscient knowledge, fully understood and taught the various conditional relations so that beings might come to know and understand them. Indeed, it is a rare privilege to encounter such a profound and noble treatise in one's lifetime. Paṭṭhāna Dhamma is extremely powerful. Many people believe that simply reciting the Paṭṭhāna can protect them from danger, bring them wealth, and grant good fortune and happiness. But the true power of the Paṭṭhāna goes much deeper than that. Even though people recite the Paṭṭhāna, most of them, they do not understand its meaning. Why is the Paṭṭhāna Dhamma is so powerful? Because it is very subtle, profound, and far-reaching in its meaning. Because it is a Dhamma highly respected by powerful Deva and Brahmas. Because it acts as a frontline fortress preserving and sustaining the Buddha Sasana. Because of these three factors, Paṭṭhāna are more powerful than other teachings. When we understand and reflect on its meaning, rather than just reciting it without comprehension, we can experience its full power, transforming our understanding, guiding our actions, and strengthening our practice. In the future, when the Buddha Sasana begins to decline, the Paṭṭhāna will be the first to disappear. Once the Paṭṭhāna vanished, all the teaching of the Buddha will gradually fade away. Abhidhamma can only be understood through developed wisdom. Among the 7 Abhidhammatas, the Paṭṭhāna is the most profound and most difficult. When one studies and applies it in practice, it helps fulfill the perfection of wisdom, Piññā Parami, and it becomes a powerful support for quickly realizing the higher noble attainments in future lives. Therefore, chanting or studying the Paṭṭhāna with the intention of developing wisdom, Piññā Parami, and wishing for the long preservation of the Buddha Sasana carries deep meaning and very powerful benefit. It is a very positive sign that people today are increasingly interested in the Paṭṭhāna, because the Paṭṭhāna is enormous and profoundly deep. Once we truly understand it, our reverence for the Buddha's omniscient wisdom, Sabbinyutta Ñāna, will grow stronger and stronger. When we understand the Paṭṭhāna, we will also clearly understand how to live our lives with minimal force, skillfully guided by the truth of causes and conditions. I will present this Paṭṭhāna Dhamma by combination the theoretical and practical knowledge that I have learned, together with the teachings and writing of many great CRO on the Paṭṭhāna. My primary reference are the book written by the late Mahāgandayong CRO, Ashin Janaka Bhiwamsa, and the Paṭṭhāna Dhamma talk delivered by CRO Dr. Nandamala Bhiwamsa. In addition to these two principal sources, I also rely, where necessary, on the writing of Pa'ao CRO-ji, the late Lady CRO, Mahasi CRO, Dr. Ashin Silananda Bhiwamsa, and Saddhamma Ramsi CRO. Moreover, I consult other teachers to ensure accuracy and clarity, especially to help make the understanding of Paṭṭhāna in daily life practical and clear. With deep reverence and gratitude, I respectfully pay homage to these great CROs for their boundless guidance and compassionate contributions to the Dhamma. And then I would like to express my gratitude to my Dhamma friend who prepared the Paṭṭhāna PowerPoint presentation. This Paṭṭhāna helps and supports everyone in gaining a deeper understanding of this profound Dhamma. After attaining Buddhahood, beneath the Bodhi tree, the Blessed One did not immediately rise from his seat. During the first week, he remained seated on the throne of enlightenment, abiding in the fruition attainment Palassamapatti that he had just realized. In the second week, he rose from his seat and gazed at the throne of enlightenment without blinking eye, honoring the place where he attained awakening. During the third week, he practiced walking meditation, Singama, reflecting on meditation subjects. In the fourth week, the Blessed One reflected on the 7 treatises of the Abhidhamma. As he contemplated the first 6 treatises, no rays of light yet appear from his body. But when he contemplated the final treatise, the Paṭṭhāna, his body radiated light. This light arose from mind-produced matter, Cetita Rupa. Because of the power of this Cetita Rupa, the Kamma-born matter, Kammaja Rupa, and temperature-born matter, Uddhacca Rupa, within his body were also purified, and brilliant colors began to shine. From the Buddha's noble flesh and blood, 6 kinds of radiance rays emerged. They are blue, yellow, white, red, golden pink, crystal clear brilliance. These 6 color rays shone forth vividly and magnificently. Compared to the Blessed One's wisdom, the first 6 treatises of the Abhidhamma were exceedingly small. However, the Buddha's wisdom was great and immeasurable. The Paṭṭhāna, being extremely wide and profound, caused 6 kinds of radiant rays to emerge from his body when he contemplated it deeply. To illustrate emerging, a fish measuring about 500 yojana, 1 yojana is approximately 12 miles. Such huge fish could not be able to swim freely in a river, but in the ocean, which spanned about 84,000 yojana, the same fish could swim and enjoy its freedom as it pleased. Similarly, when the vast Paṭṭhāna was contemplated with the Buddha's immeasurable wisdom and through various profound methods, radiant rays shone forth abundantly from his body. The Abhidhamma Pitaka was first preached by the Buddha in Tawadamsa, heaven, to honor his mother, who was reborn there as a Deva. For 3 months during this time, he returned daily to human world for alms, leaving a duplicated Buddha in Tawadamsa to continue teaching the Abhidhamma. Afterwards, the Buddha briefly taught the Abhidhamma to Venerable Sariputta, who then expounded it in a medium-length version to 500 bhikkhus. All of them attained arahantship after listening. Interestingly, these bhikkhus had previously been bhaks that listened to the Abhidhamma in a cave during the time of Kassapa Buddha. Although they did not understand its meaning, their powerful listening generated kusala, wholesome karma, and upon passing away, they were reborn as devas. Later, they were reborn as human beings, and after listening to the Abhidhamma expounded by Venerable Sariputta, they all attained arhatship during the time of Gautama Buddha. This story highlights the immense benefits of studying the Abhidhamma, and the version that we learned today was transmitted by Venerable Sariputta under the guidance of the Buddha. In Abhidhamma Pitaka, there are 7 texts: Dhammasingani, Vibhinga, Dhadukatha, Pukkala Panyati, Kathavitu, Yamaka, and Paṭṭhāna. Among them, the Paṭṭhāna is the largest and most profound teaching. Furthermore, within the Paṭṭhāna itself, there are 5 separate books, which expound conditional relation in immeasurable ways and through various methods. Most people are familiar only with the first page of the Paṭṭhāna, which lists things like Hetu-paccaya, Ārammaṇa-pacccaya, etc. This short part is called the Paccaya-desa, a combination of paccaya, cause, and odesa, recitation or indication. So Paccaya-desa simply means recitation or indication the causes. Beyond this brief version is the Paccaya-nidesa, which combines paccaya, cause, and nidesa analytical explanation. This is the analytical explanation of the causes, including passages such as Hetu-paccayoti, Hetu Sambhayotaka Dhammanam, Tansmuttana Ninja Rupanam, Hetu-paccayena paccayo, etc. The Paccaya-nidesa is the medium-length version of the Paṭṭhāna, covering only 8 pages of the first book. The section you are currently studying, some of its explanations are drawn from the Paññāvāra section of the detailed version of the Paṭṭhāna, which comprise the remaining 5 books. As one Sayadaw from Myanmar remarked, if the Paṭṭhāna were printed in full according to the Buddha's teaching, it would require many volumes. Because ellipses and omission were made in many places, only 5 books remain in the Paṭṭhāna as we have it today. Therefore, the Paṭṭhāna is an exceedingly vast and profound scripture. Paticca-samuppada explains only causes and their effects. In contrast, the Paṭṭhāna explains paccaya, cause, paccayoppanna, effect, and paccaya-sati, affective power by which a cause influences the effect. Venerable Buddhaghosa, who wrote the commentary on the Paṭṭhāna, remarked that the Paṭṭhāna was extremely difficult to explain, like trying to stand in the middle of a vast ocean, and that he had to make great effort to elucidate it. We have 5 khanda, 5 aggregate, 1 rupa khanda, material aggregate, and 4 nama khanda, mental aggregate. These khandas exist in mutual interrelationship. Through the study of the Paṭṭhāna, we can understand how they interrelate through conditional relations. However, a detailed study of the Paṭṭhāna requires a considerable amount of time and sustained effort. For instance, imagine someone who has never seen the sea. Another person takes him to the shore, points out the sea and says, "This is the sea." He will understand that the sea is vast and deep. If he tastes the sea water, he will know its flavor. When someone asks him, "Have you ever seen the sea?" he can truthfully answer, "Yes," but there is still so much more he must learn about the sea. Similarly, starting today, I will show you how the Paṭṭhāna is connected to our daily lives. Let us begin by exploring Paṭṭhāna within our own body. This Dhamma is very profound. Do not give up. If you continue listening, you will gradually understand some points. When you listen a second time, you will understand more, and by that time, you will understand even more deeply. We are born already connected with causes and effects. While we live, our existence continues to be related to causes and effects. Even at the moment of death, this causal relation persists. As long as we remain within samsara, we will be reborn again and again, only to age and die repeatedly, and ceasingly bound to causes and effects. Through understanding the Paṭṭhāna, we can clearly see that our wandering in samsara is entirely depending upon this causal relation. One who does not understand the Paṭṭhāna may think that everything, including we, is created by a creator. Such a belief arises because they cannot discern the real causes. So they point things to an unseen being. For example, in some parts of Myanmar, there are small wells from which water flows naturally. People often call these Dewa wells because they do not know who dug them. When the causes are unknown, people tend to point to Dewa, supernatural beings. However, the Buddha discovers the true causes and explains them clearly in the Paṭṭhāna. If we wish to obtain good rasa, we must fulfill the corresponding causes completely. When we truly understand the causes correctly, the wrong view that there are effects without causes, known as Ahetuka will naturally be eliminated. If we study the Paṭṭhāna and understand the causes, we will know how we are living in daily life and how we can bring our existence to an end. To understand these causes, the Buddha taught the 24 conditions. There are 24 hours in the day. Within those 24 hours, we are continuously living through these 24 conditions. The Paṭṭhāna is a discourse that explains the 24 kinds of causal relation that give rise to effects. Let us look at Hetu-paccaya. Paccaya means a condition that gives rise to or supports the arising and continuity of phenomena. The Hetu is a condition likened to the root of a plant. It is the cause that makes phenomena firm and stable and enable their continued existence. In Pali, this is called
วัน
Hetu.
ที่19นี่แหละวันที่กลับเมืองไทยวันที่19
Please mute. Hetu means 6 roots. Lobha, dosa, moha, alobha, adosa, and amoha. Lobha, dosa, moha are akusala roots and wholesome roots. Alobha, adosa, and amoha are kusala roots, wholesome roots. Lobha, greed is desire or craving for something. Alobha, non-greed is the opposite, letting go or generosity. Dosa, hatred or anger, is aversion or fear. Adosa, non-hatred, is loving kindness or the absence of anger. Moha, delusion or ignorance, is not knowing the truth, being confused. Amoha, non-delusion, is wisdom or understanding. The Hetu, as a cause, suppose the corresponding effect to be firm and stable. When we see something that we really like, the wanting mind arises inside us. In Abhidhamma, this desire is called lobha, greed. When we see something we really dislike, feeling of anger or aversion appear in the mind. In Abhidhamma, this is called dosa, hatred. When we feel sleepy or dull, the mind is not clear and cannot make proper decisions. This is known as moha, delusion. Moha also means doing what should not be done and not doing what should be done. Taking what is wrong as right and what is right as wrong. And when the mind keeps wandering away during meditation, that too is moha. For example, if you feel anger, observe your mind directly. What are you thinking? You will notice thoughts of hatred or dissatisfaction arising. The more you dwell on these thoughts, the stronger the anger becomes. How does this relate to the Paṭṭhāna? When dosa, hatred, arises in your mind, it becomes root cause. Just as a tree's roots nourish its branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits, so too, when dosa arises, it supports and sustains the hate thoughts and caitanya rupa, material produced by that mind. Therefore, the simile of the Hetu is the root. This is explained in the Paṭṭhāna Pali, and let us recite it together. Although you are mute, please recite together with me so that you may become familiar with the Pali works, which are the works of the Buddha. Hetu sambayodakanam dhammanam dan samotthana ninja rupanam Hetu-paccayena paccayo. Here I will first translate it word by word to help you understand. Hetu is the 6 roots. Hetu Sampayodakana Dhammana. Hetu is the root. Sampayodakana is associated with. Dhammana is Citta and Cetasika. Citta is mind or consciousness. Cetasika is mental factor. Our mind cannot arise alone. Whenever our mind arises, always together with mental factor, Citta and Cetasika. That Dhammana is Citta and Cetasika, mind and mental factor. So Hetu Sampayodakana and Dhammana is the Citta and Cetasika associated with the roots. Tan Samuṭṭhāna Ninja Rupana. Tan means that Citta. Samuṭṭhāna Ninja is produce. Rupana, Rupa. Rupa is material. So Tan Samuṭṭhāna Ninja Rupana means the Rupa produced by that Citta, which is called Cittaja Rupa, material produced by mind in Pali. Hetu-paccaya, by way of root condition. Paccaya, the condition that supports or sustains the arising of phenomena. As the so-whole sentence, the six rules support the arising of Citta and Cetasika associated with the roots and the Rupa produced by the Citta by way of group condition. To make you understand which is cause, which is effect, which is cause is paccaya, effect is paccayopana, by way of force or by way of Hetu-paccaya is paccaya sati. So Hetu Sampayodakana Dhammana Tan Samuṭṭhāna Ninja Rupana Hetu-paccayena paccaya. In this sentence, there are only 3 components. Paccaya, cause, paccayopana, effect, and paccaya sati by way of Hetu-paccaya. Hetu means the 6 rules: Lobha, Dosa, Moha, Alobha, Adosa, Amoha. Among them, 3 are akusala rules: Lobha, Dosa, Moha, and 3 are kusala rules: Alobha, Adosa, Amoha. Hetu Sampayodakana Dhammana is Citta Cetasika associated with the root. If we say Citta and Cetasika, Citta mind and Cetasika mental factor, as the command you say, it is thought. For example, when we are angry, based on the dosa root, hateful thoughts continue to rise until the dosa root ceases. When dosa arises, one citta arises together with 17 mental factor Cetasika. Dosa itself is included among these mental factors. So Citta and Cetasika associated with dosa root is hateful thought. That hateful thought arises in 7 jhana. The dosa root strengthens the hateful thought. Furthermore, Tan Samuṭṭhāna Ninja Rupana refer to the Chaitya Rupa produced by that hateful thought. For instance, if someone has dosa, he may speak harshly. That harsh speech is a rupa produced by a mind overwhelmed by dosa. Similarly, when he walks, his movement may be rough or noisy. That rough physical behavior is also a Chaitya Rupa produced by dosa mind. Harsh speech and rough physical behaviors continue to arise as long as the dosa root persists. These rupa are called Chaitya Rupa, produced by the mind. Dosa gives rise to hateful thought, harsh speech, and rough physical behavior. Therefore, the Buddha taught dosa as a hetu, a root or cause. Just that a tree continues to live and grow because its tree has its main root, so too, as long as anger persists, thought of hatred, harsh speech, and rough physical behavior will continue to arise. Lobha, dosa, moha, alobha, adosa, and amoha are the root causes that strengthen the citta and cetasika, mind and mental factor. That is, the thought associated with that particular root, as well as the Chaitya Rupa produced by that citta. In other words, Hetu is the cause that supports and fortifies the effect. Just as the main root of a tree supports and nourishes the tree. When dosa ceases, the hateful thought, harsh speech, and rough physical behaviors associated with it also cease. When dosa is gone, thoughts, speech, and physical behavior change. How do people usually respond then? I apologize, I am so sorry, or please forgive me. That is how they usually respond. I have already explained the dosa root, which gives rise to its effect. Hateful thoughts, harsh speech, and rough physical behaviors. Now let's go to the lobha root, Greek root. When lobha arises, it supports the arising of the citta, mind, and cetasika mental factors associated with lobha, as well as the Chaitya Rupa produced by that lobha mind. The citta and cetasika associated with lobha are what we call lobha thought. And this arises during the 7 jhana movement in viti, cognitive process. When lobha appears in the mind, its effects appear with it. Greedy thought, greedy speech, greedy action. The greedy speech and greedy physical action are Chaitya Rupa, material produced by the mind. Lobha, the lobha associated thought and Chaitya Rupa arise together, and that lobha supports and sustains those associated dhammas. As long as lobha is present, the mind and body continue behaving under it. Likewise, when moha arises, the moha root supports the sustaining the effect of moha. Moha thoughts, moha speech, and moha physical action. A moha thought does not mean not knowing anything at all. Rather, it is knowing incorrectly. It misunderstands reality, taking what is true as false and what is false as true, thinking what should be done, what should not be done, and what should not be done, what should be done. Moha speech is confused speech that does not follow reason. Moha action means acting without understanding whether something is appropriate or inappropriate. Now we have finished learning about the 3 unwholesome rules. Let us continue with the 3 wholesome rules. When alobha arises, the mind of generosity and giving, it is a wholesome consciousness. Because of the alobha rule, there arise generous thoughts, generous speech, generous bodily action. Alobha is the cause. The thought of giving and the acts of giving through body or speech are the effect that arise due to alobha. Those kind action and kind works are Caitanya Rupa, mind-produced materiality, produced by alobha citta. Adosa means loving kindness or goodwill. When adosa arises, it is a wholesome consciousness also. Because of the adosa root, thoughts of wishing to help others, kind words spoken to assist them, and helpful bodily action arise. Adosa is the cause. These thoughts, speech, and action, motivated by metta, loving kindness, to help others, are the effect that arise as Caitanya Rupa, mind-produced materiality due to the adosa root. Amoha means wisdom, panya. When the amoha root arises, it is associated with a wholesome mind. Because of the amoha root, wise thoughts and wise actions arise. Wise thoughts are correct and clear thinking, while wise actions are works and deeds carried out appropriately to achieve proper results. The amoha root is the cause. These correct thoughts and skillful action arise as Caitanya Rupa and are the effect produced by the amoha root. I have now explained all 6 rules. Let us review. What are 3 unwholesome rules, akusala rules? I want to test you. What are 3 unwholesome rules, akusala rules? Please mute.
Dosa moha.
What are they?
Lobha, dosa, moha.
Yes, good. What are 3 wholesome rules, kusala rules?
Alobha, adosa, and amoha.
Yes, good. Wholesome rules produce good effects, and wholesome rules produce bad effects. Each of 6 rules has its own different nature. The Hetu-paccaya root condition is operating almost all the time in everyone's mind, every day. It is only absent during the arising of ahetuka vipaka citta, such as Dre Pincha Viññāna, five sense consciousness, Sampatecana, receiving consciousness, Santirana, investigation consciousness, and Ahetuka Kariya Citta, such as the five door adverting consciousness, Pinchadvara Vachana, and the mind door adverting consciousness, Manodvara Vachana.
And share the slides.
Except during those few moments, the wholesome or unwholesome rules continually function as Hetu-paccaya, mostly in the seven jhana, supporting and sustaining the associated consciousness, mental factors, and Jatasa Rupa. By studying the rules, we can reflect and recognize which type of rules is present in our mind at any given moment. In daily life, we will begin to notice whether wholesome or unwholesome rules arise more frequently. We will also come to understand that our everyday life is continuously happening through the connection of causes and their effects. Our lives are shaped and influenced by causes. Therefore, if we allow unwholesome causes to arise and continue, we will inevitably receive unwholesome results in return. However, everyone hopes only for good result and happiness. No one wishes to fall into suffering and hardship. Although we wish to be happy, if we do not cultivate the causes that lead to happiness, we will not be happy. For example, if we want a seed to grow into a plant, we cannot simply order it to do so without taking any action. Many conditions are necessary for a seed to grow into a plant. We must plant the seed in the soil and water it. Once the seed comes into contact with soil and water, it will grow into a plant. There are many things we need to do for a plant to grow well. We must protect it from insects, provide fertilizer, water it regularly, and place it where it can receive sufficient sunlight. When we have completed all the necessary conditions for a plant to grow and well, it will bear fruit or bloom. Similarly, when we understand Paṭṭhāna, we must cultivate the conditions that lead to happiness and benefit, and remove the conditions that lead to suffering. If we gather good conditions, they will produce good results. Therefore, Paṭṭhāna is the highest teaching that explains the various kinds of causes and how they combine to produce effects. In Paṭṭhāna, there are three main components: paccaya, paccaya-uppana, and paccaya-sati. Let me repeat them so you can remember. Paccaya is the cause. Paccaya-uppana is the effect. Paccaya-sati is the causal energy that brings the effect into existence. Cause and effect are interrelated. When a mind of lobha arises, moha is also present. Because moha accompanies all unwholesome consciousness, although moha is present, lobha takes the lead and continues to support its effect, namely lobha thoughts, lobha speech, and lobha actions, keeping them active and sustained. When a dosa hatred mind arises, moha delusion is also present. However, dosa takes the lead and sustains its effects, dosa thoughts, dosa speech, and dosa actions, keeping them active. Every akusala and wholesome mind that arises is accompanied by moha. When a moha delusion mind arises, only moha is present. Moha itself sustains the effects, moha thoughts, moha speech, and moha actions, keeping them active. In other words, Hetu is what sustains and strengthens the effect, just as the main root of a tree supports it to grow strong and flourish. Actually, in Hetu-paccaya, other conditions are also included. However, if I explain them now, you might not understand yet. Up to now, you have gained a general understanding of Hetu-paccaya. Compared to those who have never encountered the Paṭṭhāna, it is like guiding someone who has never seen the sea, bringing them to the shore and showing them the vast sea. Although they may not yet fully understand the sea, for someone seeing it for the first time, this alone is enough to bring a sense of satisfaction. Paṭṭhāna does not concern only human beings. It applies to all living beings and non-living phenomena. It is a universal Dhamma, a universal truth, a universal law of nature, including all aspects of existence. Let us conclude our discussion on Hetu-paccaya here and continue studying Ārammaṇa-pacccaya. Ārammaṇa means object and paccaya means condition. Therefore, Ārammaṇa-pacccaya refers to the object condition. There are 6 kinds of object: Ārammaṇa, visible object, sound object, smell, taste, tangible, and mind object. These are the object condition, or Ārammaṇa-pacccaya. Apart from these 6 sense objects, there are no other objects. These 6 objects are the condition for the arising of the mind and for the experience of pleasure or displeasure. To arouse lobha mind, greed mind, dosa, hatred mind, moha, delusion mind, alobha, non-greed mind, adosa, non-hatred mind, amoha, non-delusion mind, at least one object is required. Without any object, no mind can arise. In other words, a mind cannot arise if there is no object. However, when an object is present, the mind arises. The visible object, sound, smell, taste, tangible objects are all material phenomena, rupa. The rest, material phenomena, all mental states, all consciousness, nibbana, and concepts are called mind object, Dhamma, Ramana. Because the mind arises dependent on the sense object, Ārammaṇa, it can be said that only the sense object, the mind, and the mental factor is 6. There is no nothing as individual person or living being. There is no self, atta. There is no I or you, no male or female. Thus, the mind arises dependent on an object. The mind is like an infirm or disabled person. Just that an old or weak person can stand or move only with the support of a rope or a staff. Likewise, the mind arises only in dependent on an object. While we are sleeping, the Bhoinga mind arises and continues to flow. The Bhoinga mind also has an object, but it is not a present object. It takes the object of the past life, which is the object experienced at the Maranasana dying moment. To see an object, certain conditions must be fulfilled. There must be Hetu-paccaya, eye base, which correspond to the sensitive part of the eye. There must be an object in front of it. There must be light, and there must be attention. Once these conditions are present, no one can prevent Chakku Vijnana, eye consciousness, from arising. On the other hand, if there is no Hetu-paccaya, no object, no attention, and no light, no one can cause Chakku Vijnana to arise, not even the Buddha. Dhamma is certain, it operates according to conditions. So then, where is the person? Where is the self? Where am I? Where is he? Where is she? In brief, there are only 3 kinds of citta that arise in everyone, whether in a superior person or an inferior one, in a child or even in an animal. There are only kusala citta, wholesome consciousness, akusala citta, and wholesome consciousness, abhyagata citta, mind that is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. Vipaka citta, resultant consciousness, and kriya citta, functional consciousness, are both included in the category of abhyagata citta. I will first explain a little bit about akusala citta and wholesome consciousness. When akusala citta arises, it is accompanied by unwholesome cetasika, such as lobha, greed, dosa, hatred, moha, delusion, mana, conceit, asa, jealousy, matsarya, stinginess, or vicikiccha, doubt. Why akusala citta arises? It is defiled and faulty, and when it produces result, it produces bad result only. Therefore, it is called akusala and wholesome. On the other hand, when kusala citta arises, it is accompanied by cetasika such as alobha, generosity, adosa, loving kindness, or amoha, wisdom. When it arises, the mind is very pure and free from fault, and when it produces result, it produces only good result. Therefore, it is called kusala, wholesome. For example, why planning to make an offering of food, dana, if one thinks, may the venerable monks and nuns be well and find comfort while eating this food. wholesome thoughts, kusala citta, arise. While offering with care and respect, wholesome thoughts continue to arise. Such kusala citta is very pure and free from fault, and when it produces result, it brings only good results. Now I will talk about Vyagata. Why it arises, it is neither impure nor pure, because it is neither kusala nor akusala. For instance, rupa, material is abhyagata. Vipaka citta, resultant consciousness, is also abhyagata. For example, when we are sleeping, bhovinga citta, which is also called vipaka citta, resultant consciousness, arises. When vipaka citta arises, the hetu root is also included, but it is neither kusala citta nor akusala citta. However, in the mind of the Buddha and Arahants, neither kusala nor akusala can arise. Only kariya vyagata citta can arise. Although the Buddha and Arahants also perform wholesome deeds, for example, by chanting metta or preaching the Dhamma for the welfare of beings, it cannot be said that the Buddha and Arahants possess kusala citta, wholesome mind, in the same way as the ordinary person and those at other state of the Ariya path. The Buddha and Arahants possess a mind called Kariya Abhyagata Citta, because it does not produce any result in the future. Since the Buddha and Arahants have no ignorance, avijja, or craving, tanha. Their actions are merely action. Their deeds, their volition, cetana, do not generate karma that produce results. As I mentioned before, the mind cannot arise without an object. What are the 6 objects? Do you remember?
Lova, dosa, moha,
6 objects. 6
rupa,
kind of
yadana.
idea.
Luva, yadana.
Rupa yadana, in Pali, rupa yadana, visible object. Saddha yadana, sound object. Gandha yadana, smell object. Rasa yadana, taste object. Pottabha yadana, tangible object. Dhamma yadana, mind object. Except for these 5 objects, the rest are called Dhamma yadana, mind object. There are no other objects besides these 6. The mind arises only because of one of the 6 objects. In this world, we see many kinds of beings, man, woman, animals, and others, each with different appearance and characteristics. Generally speaking, a being's wholesome or unwholesome karma determine the quality of the paṭṭhāna conception in the next part. Paṭṭhāna may be roughly translated as rebut, linking, or relinking consciousness. Let us consider the paṭṭhāna object of the Bodhisattva Gautama Buddha to be: when the Bodhisattva Deva was living in the Tusita Deva realm, all the Devas and Brahmas make a request to him: please take paṭṭhāna in the human world and become a Buddha to save all living beings. The Bodhisattva saw the suitable time to become a Buddha and sent loving kindness, metta, to all living beings. Is sending metta kusala or akusala citta? It is question
Akusala.
Is Santimetta kusala or akusala citta? Santimetta
Oh, it's kusala.
Kusala.
kusala citta. Yeah. Now, please tell me again, what are the 6 roots?
Lova, dosa,
Yeah.
moha. Alova, adosa, amoha.
Yeah. Which hetu is included in Santimetta?
Alova, adosa, amoha.
No, only one is leading.
Aloba.
Adosa.
Adosa, yeah. Adosa hetu is included in Santimetta. Adosa is leading. Metta is based on adosa hetu, the root of non-hatred. Therefore, Santimetta arises with kusala citta, wholesome consciousness, that are rooted in adosa. Let us consider the Paṭṭhāna of the Bodhisattva in his final life to become the Buddha. The Bodhisattva had cultivated kusala for 4 asankhya and 100,000 war cycles, fulfilling the parami until his life in the Tusita Deva realm. How much is an asankhya? In English, asankhya means incalculable. This is 10 to the power 140. That's why called incalculable. 4 asankhya and 100,000 war. 4 asankhya, incalculable was 4 times. So 4 into 10 to the power 140 and 100,000 war. The Bodhisattva fulfilled for 4 asankhya and 100,000 war cycle to become Buddha. Before taking Paṭṭhāna for his next life, which was his final life, he submitted, taking all living beings as the Ārammaṇa object. After that, he passed away from the Tusita realm and took conception, Paṭṭhāna, in Queen Maya Devi womb. At the time of Paṭṭhāna conception, not only the Paṭṭhāna citta, but also the associated cetasika mental factor and kammaja rupa, karma born matter, arise together. Kammaja rupa means the materiality produced by karma, and there are 30 kammaja rupa. They are 10 kaya dasaka kalapa, body decade groups, 10 bhava dasaka kalapa, set decade groups, 10 hadya dasaka kalapa, heart decade groups. The Bodhisattva Paṭṭhāna citta is the first citta of the 8 Kamavajara Kusala citta. The name is Somanasa Sahagata Jnana Sambayutta Asankharika citta. It is the highest or best citta among the 8 kinds of Kamavajara Kusala citta. Sans-sphere wholesome consciousness. The hetu of his Paṭṭhāna are Āloba, non-desire, Adosa, non-hatred, and Ārammāṇa-pacccaya. Due to the kusala of Santimetta to all living beings while in the Tusita Deva realm. The Paṭṭhāna citta has 3 stages: superior, middle, and inferior. His Paṭṭhāna citta is the most superior. Therefore, among all living beings, Paṭṭhāna citta, Ārammāṇa-pacccaya in the Bodhisattva Paṭṭhāna citta is the highest and sharpest. This pacccaya is the root, hetu, for attaining Sabbhinyutta jnana. Some people's Paṭṭhāna are very inferior and due to include any good rules, such as Āloba, Ādosa, and Āmoha. As a result, when they are born, they may become blind, dumb, or deaf. Due to inferior karma, their rupa also become inferior. Some people's Paṭṭhāna is in the middle. The Āloba and Ādosa Hetu are included in their Paṭṭhāna, but not the Āmoha Piññā Hetu. As a result, when they are born, their wisdom, jnana, is low. Gradually, their wisdom may improve somewhat through learning and education. But it will not become sharp because they did not have the Piññā Hetu, Āmoha, in their Paṭṭhāna. Some people's Paṭṭhāna is superior. All the good Hetu, Āloba, Ādosa, Āmoha are included in their Paṭṭhāna. Since they were young, their wisdom was sharp. Gradually, their wisdom becomes sharper and sharper through learning and education. Let us reflect on our daily lives. We should frequently examine our own minds and honestly ask, do wholesome rules, kusala hetu, arise more often, or do unwholesome rules, akusala hetu, arise more? We should also consider through which sense object, Ārammaṇa, does the mind become unwholesome, and through which sense object does it become wholesome? Without mindfulness, we cannot see anything. Only with mindfulness and reflection, we can truly know what is happening in our mind. The mind arises only when there is an object of awareness. When the mind arises with right intention and clear comprehension, it is a wholesome mind. When it arises with wrong intention or delusion, it is an unwholesome mind. If we contemplate this deeply, we will realize that there is no real person, being, self, or I. There exists only mind, citta, mental factor, cetasika, and metta, rupa. Let us extend the explanation of Ārammaṇa-pacccaya, object condition, a little bit further. There are many kinds of objects in the world. The human world belongs to the karma plane, the sensual plane, where lobha, greed, or desire is predominant, and where beings with sensual desire dwell. Therefore, human beings tend to have a great deal of lobha. Our present life begins with the arising of the Paṭṭhāna consciousness in our mother's womb. Thereafter, following 15 or 16 Pavinga mind movement, the stream of life proceeds with Bhava-nikkandika citta arises. Bhava is existent. Bhava-nikkandika, Bhava is existent, nikkandika is attachment. So, after Paṭṭhāna, And after 15 or 16 Oinga Mai moment after Bawa Nikantika Loba Jawana Jeta arises. This is a consciousness rooted in craving for existence. Thus, the first active cognitive process in this life, while in the mother's womb, is a great rooted consciousness, Loba Mula Jeta. It is quite unbelievable. Without the Buddha's teaching, no one would ever have known this. Ever since the day a baby is born until it can open its eye, parents and relatives already begin to persuade and induce it to develop desire. This war is the sensual plane, karma plane, where sensual pleasures exist. The baby minds also begin with Loba Jeta, the mind rooted in attachment to this life. The more we present the baby with desirable objects, the more Loba Jeta arises within it. When the child grows up a little, parents feed him food and then he develops a desire of it. When parents sing songs to him, he begins to desire listening to them. Because this world is the karma plane, the child is constantly surrounded by desirable objects. Gradually, his desire continues to increase. A simile in the Jataka commentary compare human loba to the horn of an ox. As an ox grows, its horn does not become shorter. Rather, the more the ox grows, the longer its horn becomes. Likewise, in human beings, since we were born, our Jeta began with loba, the mind attached to this life. The more we grow, the more loba arises within us. At this point, we will pause the Paṭṭhāna discussion. Anyone who wishes to ask questions concerning the Paṭṭhāna discussion may do so. Please ask only questions related to this Dhamma discussion, as we have limited time. And when you ask questions, please speak slowly, because I am not familiar with your accent and my English is also very limited. Since I am not someone who knows everything, I will answer only what I know. Is there any question to ask?
Salale, I do have a question, but it's right at this moment, it's a technical question. Would it be possible to minimize the presentation so we could all see each other?
Oh, in
Stop sharing is what you would do?
In teaching time? Now? You mean now?
Yes, if this is going to be the Q&A period, it would be nice to see the people who are asking questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-mm.
Where can we see all the downloads and this information on recorded video?
Tomorrow, the person who has responsibility will post the online. Please wait tomorrow.
Please share the links.
share the link. Please,
For the-
Ārammaṇa-pacccaya, share the link.
The link is shared in the group, the text to everyone, also on the website. The video I post on the Be Happy Meditation Club YouTube channel. You can find the link in the message as well as on the poster and also on the website, the Be Happy Meditation Club website.
the slides, for the slides. Or in the PDF file, you will share this slides.
No, PDF I will not share. Maybe if you want, we can share slide and then a video file.
Yes, please. I can find on the website, Be Happy.
The video will not be posted until later on tonight, California time, in the Be Happy Meditation Club YouTube channel. The link, you can directly go to that in the YouTube channel, look for Be Happy Meditation Club, or you can find the link from the Be Happy Meditation Club website, or you can click on the link in the group message. There's a link in the group message as well.
I didn't join your group. I'm not in the group.
I just shared the link to the YouTube website, so it will be posted tonight.
Okay.
I think this is the first day. That's why you don't have question. If you don't have question, we can stop now.
How do we tell you if we have a question, please?
Or now you can ask. This is the question Q&A session. 30 minutes we have.
Email. Will you provide the email?
No,
So,
this
so I can ask you now.
We have 2-hour session. 1.5 hour is explanation. 30 minutes is question and answer session. Only please ask the concerning with the Paṭṭhāna explanation.
May I ask a question now?
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you so much for the teaching.
Okay, you're welcome.
And my question is, the tree has the roots and some roots are deeper. With these roots that you've taught us today, which root is the deepest?
The Hetu, you mean Hetu?
Yes, I mean the Hetu.
Hetu is the main root, the most big and the deep root, the bigger ones and the deep roots. That is Hetu.
And of those roots, which root is the deepest?
This cannot say. Any kind can be deepest. Depends on the degree what they in their mind arise. In akusala roots also have some are strong, some are not strong, although they arise. In kusala roots also some are very strong and some are not very strong. If the root is very strong, when they give the result also, strong result they will get.
Thank you.
No other question? If no other question, now we will stop this explanation session. Let us share the wholesome merits gained from sharing this Paṭṭhāna and listening to the Paṭṭhāna Dhamma with all beings, seen and unseen, near and far, including all devas, humans, and living beings, through the infinite universe by reciting together Idame Punya. Idame Punya Asawekaya Waham
Hotu
Idame
punya
Nibbānasa Paccayo
Paṭṭhāna Hotu
Amma
Amma
Punya
punya
Bhaga Sabba
Sabba
Satana
satana
Vajemi Te Sabbe Nisamma Punya
punya
Bhaga
bhaga
Labantu
labantu
Sadhu
sadhu
Sadhu.
sadhu.
May all Dhamma friends be filled with peace, happiness, and the blessing of the Dhamma, and may all your noble wishes come true.
Thank you, Sayadaw.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
Thank you, Sayadaw.